Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Aurora Stefrak, and today I'm just popping on intuitively because I was guided to from the synchronicities that have led up to me wanting to record this video and share it. So today I really want to just kind of touch on the topic of acquainting with your depth. I was talking to my mom today and we were running through, oh, this person in my family's had depression, or this person, or, just talking about, the prevalence. And I never really realized that in my family lineage just how prominent, the mental instability really has been. So, and then we started talking about my own personal experience, and I was just saying, I just didn't understand the depth of it. It just went so deep, and I just knew that there was something that I needed to understand on such a deep level so that this void would be understood. And that's kind of what I've been doing the last, my adulthood basically is unpacking and understanding why I have made the decisions that I have, and kind of where all of my traumas have kind of accumulated, and what that looks like, and how that had led me out of alignment with my highest potential. And my mom said to me, Aurora, you've always wanted to understand it. You've always wanted, you've sat with it. You've asked a question. She didn't say this to me. This is my own, a rendition on top of what she said. But it's I asked the questions. I chose to sit with it. I chose to want to understand it. I mean, yeah, I ran away from it for such a long time, but that was because of the depth of it. And I didn't understand how to process all of that and what that even means. And now down the road I understand the connection that I've had with my fears and with my traumas and with different things that connect to past life traumas and experiences. Because I would reflect on my life and it would confuse me, because I would be like, okay, I get it, we all have trauma, we all have things, but I just didn't feel like what happened in my life reflected the depth and the pain and the suffering that I was experiencing. So it was really confusing to my humanness, right? To be like, okay, well, sure, this stuff happened to me, but, I just didn't think it could affect me to that depth. And something that I've understood is that in this lifetime, I was contracted to not have to experience sexual abuse or trauma or, domestic violence, things like that. I didn't sign up for those experiences this lifetime, but that doesn't mean that it's not in my DNA. It's not in my soul level trauma. Right? So as I kind of acquainted more with my depression, with my sadness, with this deep sense of loneliness and abandonment and all of these energies that feel hopeless and despair, it wasn't until I really, held myself and processed these feelings without running, and by actually showing up presently and loving and compassionately towards myself, was I able to embody my whole self. But there's a whole process within that as well, right? So I just wanted to come on really to just bring this awareness of the power of our darkness and how it leads us to our light. All the experiences that we've had, the accumulation of, the positive and the negative. Usually we don't really remember the positive because the negative outweighs within our human. And so it's about really sitting with that and understanding yourself and asking yourself the questions. And when did I first feel this feeling? What was it that triggered this experience within myself, and how can I see this pattern showing up? Go back and tap into the first time you ever felt it. Like, it could be on the schoolyard when you were a kid. It could be, when your mom yelled at you that one, like, just tap in and ask the questions so that you can receive the answers and you can start moving that energy. So I was very confused and lost and wasn't connected with myself, and it was showing up and asking the questions, and like, why are you so sad, Aurora? Like, what happened? When did you stop singing? That's what my mom asked me one time when I was in the depths of my depression, and it was like it activated something within me when she asked me, like, Aurora, why don't you sing anymore? I was like, oh, shit, Mom. Because I'm not really alive right now. I don't know how did I respond to that. I don't know what I said, but the reality of it was that question that she asked me, why don't you sing anymore? In other words, why don't you do what you love anymore? Really triggered something within me and woke something up, and it was like, yeah, like, that's what I need to be doing again. Like, I need to be singing, I need to be playing guitar, I need to be creating, I need to write, I need to flow, I need to speak, I need to connect, I need to like, do these things that fuel me. I need to make sure I'm sleeping enough. I need to make sure I'm eating the proper foods. I need to make sure that everything is taken care of in my world, or I'm gonna be off kilter, And so this energetic as well of the human, learning about our energetic systems and our physical body, like, how do I nourish my physical body? How do I nourish my energetic body? How do I nourish my emotional body? How do I nourish my spirit? How do I nourish all these different parts of myself? And so I think asking yourself these questions and inviting in the light when you're in these dark places allows for you to rediscover and to understand and to open up that box. And I feel a heavy chest as I'm speaking this, not because it's my energy, but because I know the power of people, like, what I'm saying and the effect it's going to have at the right time for the right person. And I feel you, and I feel it in my chest, and I know that it's not easy, but I also know how powerful you are, and I know that you can get up again off your feet, get onto your feet, and believe in yourself. That's really step one, like, believe in yourself, tap into your heart, feel the pain, feel the suffering that you've gone through, let it go, release it, cry it out, like, talk about it, even if it's with yourself, like, just journal, like, just start unpacking the density that it is that you're carrying, because there's so much power when that isn't being carried anymore, and when you can transmute it, and when you can release it, and when you can realize that everything that's happening in your life is not who you are. You are so much more than the experiences that you've had. And so I just am creating this video to invite, anybody that, especially, in this time, like, it's March 23rd, 2021, and, COVID has been in effect now for a year, and it doesn't really seem to be getting any better, and there's a lot going on. So, like, questioning reality, questioning the truth, questioning the government, questioning the systems, questioning everything. Like, it can be overwhelming. And thankfully I got to question it all before it crumbled and it was still functioning, but there's a lot of people that are waking up right now and realizing, the truth, or at least learning about it, even though, you might not know what to believe or not. Like, something within you is like, something's not right, and so clearing out these denser emotions and experiences that are trapped in your nervous system, in your body, in your mind, in your psyche, in your spirit. Like, it's, reclaiming those fractal aspects back. It's just like, once you say that I'm taking this part of me back by processing whatever it is, by saying it to yourself, by acknowledging it, by bringing a conscious awareness to it, and choosing that you want to rise above it, and you want to understand it, and you want to have compassion for yourself, for others, for all of it. It all comes down to being able to face our shadow self, that version of ourselves that we don't really want to acknowledge. And that's what's keeping your light dim, because it's affecting every choice, every thought, every feeling. These are all programmed into us. So it's about bringing that awareness, and we're in a really potent, energetic time of purification. So that's probably also why I'm being guided to record this right now, and to bring awareness to our shadow self, and that it's really not, it's not as scary as we make it seem. It's because we haven't had anybody show up for us, or really be there and support us, and even if that's you, it's like, well, I've never shown up for myself, so da 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 da. It's like, well, now is the time. Like, now is the time to start showing up, like to start caring about, if you're exercising and what you're eating, and if you're having enough water, and being creative, and really like nourishing your heart, and connecting to your inner child, and purifying and cleansing and connecting to your higher self, and opening up your third eye, and really just living. Like, the suffering is necessary until it's not, and so, like, this is my invitation to you to say, like, you can end your own suffering through choices that you make every single day, every single moment, every single thought. Like, it's so powerful. You're so powerful, and your darkness is what created you, and it's about harnessing that and owning that, and saying, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna embrace this side of me. I'm gonna feel my grief. I'm gonna feel my sadness. I'm gonna feel my fear, my scarcity, my lack, my all these lower, denser patterns and energies. I want to feel it so that I can release it and let it go and not carry it anymore. So I can live in abundance, so I can live in trust, so I can live in alignment with my authenticity and truth. This is all about self-realization and self-study. I always say that life is an analogy for our soul, and it's so true, because as above, so below. What is going on in our life real time in a soul level is just a movie reel, like, it's just a blimp. And so it's like, we're living out what our soul has asked for. And so our soul has come here to heal, to choose to rise above. Like, it's dense here. There's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of scarcity. There's a lot of density here, So I'm just popping in to remind you that there's also the light, and you are the light, and you have to listen to your light, and you have to embody that light, and tell yourself that you can, and tell yourself that you can get out of bed, and be kind, and give yourself the space to do nothing if that's your capacity at that time. Be okay with that. I know how hard it was for me on the days where I was so depressed and I couldn't get out of bed, but I had to nourish myself in those moments and stay in bed and work through the guilt of calling into work because of my mental health. It's like, society doesn't really accept that. So I had been programmed to not put myself first. And even if I'm on my cycle, if you're a woman out there and you really need a day to yourself, maybe this is a sign to say, take that day, like, just relax into what it is that your body needs. Your body's communicating all the time. So it's time to listen to it and to honor it and to thank it for sending you these signals, you know, to say, oh no, like I'm not in balance right now. I need to figure out in my mental, my emotional, my physical, what isn't in balance and how to get back into balance. And that's really all it is, you know. Anything that you're going through is simply an imbalance. Okay, so all it is we have to bring it back to balance, back to homeostasis, back to its synergistic relationship that, you know, it strives for, right? And when I say it, I'm talking our body, our physicality, you know, like it's a machine, a biological machine of magic. And, you know, once we start honoring and thanking it, even like giving ourselves, touching our body, like, you know, just gently thanking it, everything about it, you know, the fact that I can take in this nice deep breath and that my lungs are healthy and that I can, you know, like take this oxygen and turn it into carbon dioxide and feed the trees, you know, like how crazy is that, right? So bringing it into this larger picture so that you can understand like your place and your power and what it is that you really can focus on. Yeah, so that's another little thing, you know, like empowerment. It's time to empower yourself, okay? And give yourself the space, give yourself the time, feel what you need, understand it, and then when you're ready and you have that inner strength that you've been working on in that darkness, you know, exercise that inner strength that, you know, the only constant is change. This is going to be over soon. This is a stepping stone so that I can understand myself and I can understand humanity and I can really show up and serve and be here and be present. And in order for you to learn to be here and be present, you have to do that with yourself and with your shadow and with whatever it is that you're not wanting to acknowledge. Excuse me, releasing. Yeah, so, yeah, I just wanted to come on and really just say a few words and yeah, I hope that this has helped you, and I hope that it's given you a connection back to your inner voice and your inner strength and your inner knowing, and that inner trust, and I hope that you are able to take the steps moment to moment and to be curious within the moments and to ask the questions and to stand in the unknown and be okay with it, you know, like nobody really knows what they're doing, by the way, you know, like just saying, as I became an adult, that was one of the things that drove me up the wall. I was like, oh my God, nobody knows what they're doing. You know, as a kid, you believe that, you know, adults know. Well, no, they don't. And not a lot of people have mastered being human quite yet. So through working with our shadow and integrating our human aspects in with our divinity, we can become whole again. And we can choose to live from our heart space and from our infinite potential that we are, and help others realize that and ripple it out so that we can live in a harmonious world where we can connect heart to heart, hand to hand, mind to mind, and have a beautiful community that sees suffering and can help because we have the tools and we know that all it is that we're looking for is love and connection. So, yeah, that's all. And I hope that this helps you, and I'm sending you so much love. Honor yourself, honor where you're at, honor your lessons, ask the questions, be patient with yourself, be vulnerable, be kind. Okay? I'm sending you so much love right now in this time, and I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are. Namaste.